Bam, and we're live. How about that?
Just like that.
It almost come off it kind of like it's cool, like almost like I know what I'm doing.
It's almost professional.
Al- Almost. You like what I'm going for? All right, so check this out.
Yeah.
I've done 5 interviews this week, 3 trombone players, 2 drummers, and I decided to call it Bones and Beats Week.
Nice. I like it.
You like Bones and Beats?
It's catchy. It's catchy.
It's catchy. All right. So John Gove, infamous trombone player, my friend. You promised to
For
be
years and years.
you promised to be really nice to me, and so what are you doing? How is school going to open up? I know you've been doing a lot of teaching. What's it all looking like for you right now?
So all the teaching I'm teaching at 2 different colleges. Everything is online. Everything's going online. We finished last semester online, and we're going to continue in the fall all online. Nothing live.
And how is that working out? Is it going okay? Is it are students liking it? Are they learning things?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's funny. Everybody's talked about, all the teachers have talked about this. Uh, you know, the format's so different that obviously there's a lot of things that, feels like we're missing. Just that immediate interaction with the students. It's hard to do over Zoom and things like that. But there's some things that are actually kind of better. Some of the assignments that I'm giving them, I'm having students, instead of you know, play stuff for me that I assign on their instruments, I'm having them record stuff. And a lot of students have commented on how they end up practicing way more, because when they record and listen back, they go, "Oh, that sounds like garbage," and they have to practice more to actually get it sounding good. So that little part has been better. One big thing, this is actually kind of a cool thing. One big thing that just came to a screeching halt last semester when everything closed down was ensembles, playing in a live ensemble. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
Obviously Zoom and FaceTime, impossible, does not work. Over the summer, I and the California Jazz Conservatory, one of the main schools I teach at, have discovered and investigated some programs. There's 3 of them in particular that enable musicians to play together live on the internet, cutting out latency to almost nothing.
Which program does that?
So there's 3 of them. There's one called Jam Kazam, another one called Jamulus, and a third one called Jack Trip.
Okay, so I've had a lot of conversations with these people about Jam Kazam. That's a really old platform, and it requires hardware,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
It does not. It does not. All these programs, the only thing it requires is that you cut out the Wi-Fi. So you have to wire directly into your modem. So that's really the only thing. Right. You can use the built-in microphone of your computer and the headphone jack on your computer. That can be your interface, as long as you get that Wi-Fi Ethernet connection, or get rid of the Wi-Fi with the Ethernet connection, you're good. Better is to have a USB mic. Even better is to actually have some hardware, like a audio interface,
right,
and a microphone.
Okay, I've had this conversation with a lot of people. Have you had some experiences with any of those, and how has it worked?
Mixed. So Jam Kazam, that's probably the one that it's been around the longest, and it's kind of the popular one. You go on there, there's lots of people on there. It's also the one that's the most glitchy. It's the most frustrating. You get on there and somebody's audio isn't working, or your audio cuts out halfway through. You end up trying to get into sessions with people who are from Australia and Finland and all over the place, and the latency, the delay is so huge that it's worthless. But the better programs are Jamulus. That one's actually kind of my favorite one. It's got lower latency, doesn't have as many bells and whistles, doesn't have as many people on it. But if you have people that you go, hey, let's actually play some music, come over here, join us. It's clean. It doesn't drop you. It's not glitchy. And it's all organized by you connect to a server that's close to you, so it has low latency. So kind of guaranteed everybody who's joining it is close to you, and it's going to be not a lot of delay. Nobody from Norway.
Yeah. So you've just opened up the whole can of worms that really happens. But before I get to that, I'm going to put this up on the screen because a good friend of yours has said something that I need to load and put it up, and you'll recognize this. Do you see that over there on the?
Oh, see, now I got to put on my glasses to see what it's saying. Okay, here we go. Really killing me. Oh, this is just now, Jamie. Jamie, you're killing me, dude. Too funny.
I know.
Wait, you mean people actually watch this?
People, well, maybe not a lot of people, but enough people that we have to keep us honest.
That's great.
Right?
That's great. That's great.
So
Jamie, a fellow fell.
A fell. Once a fell, always a fell. Fell Nation.
Always a fell.
All right. So the can of worms with all of it is that you have to be within close proximity. So for a college, if everybody's within the Bay Area, you can get servers to be reasonably close. Okay. The issue has always become is I want to play with you while we add Jamie in from Atlanta and David Silliman in New York City, and we're all going to play together. Forget it. It's just
not going to work.
So the thing is I believe we're always at the mercy of the internet, even if we're without Wi-Fi, because the internet still is glitchy because so many people are using it right now. Have you found out any of that kind of stuff kind of messing with it a little bit too?
Well, I don't know how much. I mean, that could be something going on. I don't honestly know, but I think the bigger issue is just the distance. All these programs, they all tell you that the actual physical distance adds latency. And musicians, we're used to grooving with each other. We're used to a drummer plays a little nuance and you adjust to it. The tempo is slightly different, and everybody automatically adjusts. And with that latency, if it's more than just a few milliseconds, our instinct is the tempo dives, and it doesn't work. I've had great sessions with people in the Central Coast and in LA, and even as far away as Seattle.
Wow.
New York, not so much. Chicago, not so much. Georgia, Florida, not so much. Yeah.
I still, my feeling is, even and from a student's perspective, and I've said this to everybody, especially drummers, for me, to be able to sit next to the guy, to look over his shoulder, to feel what it is that's coming from him and the drums and how he hits the drums and all those things. I can watch it and kind of learn a little bit of something from it, but it just feels so different. And I was talking with Russ Miller.
It's totally different.
Right. And Russ Miller was on this afternoon, and he was saying that what we have now is a bunch of drummers who are sitting in their home learning in their home, and they're missing out on the musicianship aspect of it, which is what you learn when you play together. So
absolutely.
Have you talked about all of that amongst your um, educators? Is there a way? Do you think this will replace it to some degree?
We've talked all about that, and I've talked to students about it as well. And the truth is that there is no replacement for playing live with people. There is no replacement. Playing on these platforms, on these online platforms, is it's far better than not playing with anyone ever.
Yeah,
So that's kind of what we're looking at.
man.
It can be a pretty darn good experience. It's never going to be like playing live. It never is, especially for bass players and drummers. That locking up and that micro locking into the groove. It's just not going to happen
Yeah,
over the web.
yeah. I kind of agree.
But it's way better than not playing at all.
I put up another little message to you.
Okay, here we go. Who's saying what here? Rich Armstrong. Oh my God, Rich.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. Greasy.
Right on. He's good to see you, Rich.
Yeah. Greasiest because you like to eat like lots of chicken before you go play, and you get. Is that
That's it. That's it. I try not to shower too often.
Oh man. Well, you know what? Let's talk a little bit about this, because you're a great educator, and you actually
Thank
play
you.
a gazillion instruments really well. And I had Jeff Lewis on, and I talked about how I would love having you and him in the band, because then I could use the two of you to spell everybody else. Hey, John.
Which we have many times. We love it too. Yeah, drums, bass, whatever. Yeah.
What do you need? And my first experience with you actually being able to play another instrument was one of my first gigs with the big show band deal I was trying to do in Las Vegas at Treasure Island. And they wanted us to play last minute, like continuous music. I go, well, we need a break. And I go, who can we have play piano? And you go, and we sent you out to play piano in the breaks.
Right.
I'm like,
what, a trombonist can do something other than play trombone and tie his shoes? Amazing.
So we got to the point where we hired you not because you played trombone.
In spite of me playing trombone, you hired me.
Yeah. We hired you for all the other stuff, and then okay, you can pick up a trombone once in a while. But
Exactly.
this is one thing that I've never ever asked you. Why and how did you pick up the trombone? Was it your first instrument and an instrument of choice?
Oh, good question. Okay. Got a funny answer. Well, first of all, piano was my first instrument. Started playing piano, I don't know, 5 years old, first grade or something, little kid piano lessons. And then I must have been in third grade, because I think I started trombone when I was in fourth grade. And in third grade, the high school band came to our school and played. And the trombone player at some point stood up and went, and I was like, sold. that was it. It was something as dumb as that. And that was my destiny. All from my third grade being just so impressed with
you could make the cartoon
something inane. Yeah.
That come from the cartoons,
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah. That was as deep as my decision to pick trombone was. That was
no
it.
kidding. And you just went for a trombone after.
Yeah.
And where did you go
for trombone? Started taking lessons, and yeah.
You grew up in the Bay Area, right?
Grew up in the Bay Area. Grew up in Orinda.
And why did you pick Eastman School of Music to go to?
Well, again, trombone. It was back then. It was known as the trombone school because there was this guy there who was long gone, but by the time I got there, but he built this legacy, this guy named Emery Remington. And by the time I went to school, you could look around the United States and a lot of Europe, and virtually all of the top trombonists and everywhere, Chicago Symphony, New York Philharmonic, everywhere, they had all been students of this guy, Emery Remington. So it had this legacy, this trombone legacy. So it's kind of the place to apply to.
I didn't know any of that. So when you went there, was it your plan to then be an educator or to play in the Philharmonic? What got you into doing the silly gigs that you ended up with me doing?
Yeah. No, I was not planning on being an educator. I was not planning on being a classical musician. At that point, there were only a few really top music schools that had jazz degrees, undergraduate jazz degrees. There were some state schools, Northridge and North Texas State and Berklee College of Music, and there were schools like that. So I went to Eastman just because it was a trombone school and it was a top conservatory. So I got in. So I was like, I gotta go. I got in. I gotta go. So I went, and my bachelor's degree is I got a bachelor's degree in classical trombone performance, never having any intention of pursuing a career in classical trombone because that's what was offered. Meanwhile, all the master's level courses were jazz ensemble, jazz arranging, film scoring, combos, improvisation, jazz theory. I took all the jazz stuff was all master's level stuff. So I was pursuing a jazz direction at a mostly classical school.
That's fascinating. Did you ever study or get around Gap or Chuck Mangione?
Gap Mangione, played a bunch of silly gigs like the silly gigs I played with you. Played a bunch of those with Gap. Yep. Jeff Tyzik was another guy who was a great trumpet player who was in town still. Chuck never came around.
Well, their jazz program was actually pretty good, if I'm not mistaken, in those days. And
it was killer. Yeah.
So did you end up with a master's degree in jazz studies?
I did. It was kind of cool because I had been taking so many master's level jazz courses as an undergraduate. By the time I finished my bachelor's degree, I had like a whole bunch of credits that weren't counting towards my degree. They were just unspecified electives, but they were all the core jazz degree master's courses. So I went to the dean and said, hey, could I roll that over into a master's degree? And the guy said, yeah. So I went for 2 more semesters and got a master's degree in jazz performance and jazz composition because I had just taken, from my freshman year on, I had taken all master's level jazz courses. So
that's cool. So John, I'm going to ask you though, it's getting pretty dark there. And I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, want me to?
Yeah, but and then I'm also going to do this.
That's backlighting me. Does that help?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Oh, yeah, it is better. Yeah, you look like you're at home. And look I made mine darker too. So now we're
there we go.
Matchy. Well, maybe
there you go. Very good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See
you got your groovy blue lights going and stuff.
Well, this
your blue black backdrop. Very cool.
Yeah. I was actually called out on that. I said, this is supposed to be in the green room and there's no green. And because
good point.
But green rooms, when somebody says, go to the green room, it's never green. It's just a room you go to.
It's never green.
So that's what
I know. What's that about?
Yeah. So, and then Jamie, I wear this every day because I don't have to change shirts now that I've been home for like 5-6 months. I've got 3 of these, and it's people give me a bad time about never changing the shirts, but it sort of blends in with the backdrop. Anyway,
perfect.
So this is better. Now we can see
Perfect.
you look like you were getting to be like that Alfred Hitchcock or that Twilight Zone kind of thing going.
I
And I and
wonder if I can make it even better by see if I can get the light in front of me.
fine. No,
Maybe that would be better.
it's actually fine. But listen, I got this really cool sound effects little button up.
Well, whatever.
Listen. Oh, is it working? Oh, I got it here.
Oh, come on. Ah, nice.
And then when you tell a joke, so I got all the bells and whistles.
Perfect.
The only thing that I got to get for jokes is the little bada boom. I got to get one of those.
I know. Yeah. Well, you're a drummer. Get a snare drum in there. Come on, man.
No. I'm never playing again. We've talked since that last gig.
You've given up drums.
I'm never going to pick up the sticks again. Ever. I'm done.
Since the last gig, the Tahoe gig or the Donner gig or whatever it was.
Yeah. Now, have we talked since then? I don't think we've really talked since then.
Maybe not. We talked right after that.
Yeah.
Like the later that evening as I was driving home, but I don't think since then. Yeah.
Yeah. I made a decision to I'm just done. I'm never, no. So as a matter of fact, somebody else came and got my electronic drums that I used to practice on because they said, "Are you using them?" And I said, "Absolutely not.
Oh, yeah.
Get them out of my garage for me."
You're done. That's it.
That's
okay.
It. So now that what I had planned on doing was sound, and now that's not happening. So yeah,
man, unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah.
But look at this career I got. I get to sit and do this now.
See, and the cash is just flowing in, I bet, right?
Oh, it's fallen. I've got a cash tree in the backyard.
I believe it.
So when you finished and got your degree then, and you came back to the Bay Area, or did you do any kind of road gigs when you were in New York or?
I did a road gig. Yeah. Right out of college, I went on the road with a Broadway show touring around for a year and a half.
Which I'm going to put up another message from somebody that is, and I got to do this because I like watching you put your glasses on.
I know. See, Dave Martell, awesome! Oh my God, all these people.
All right, now.
Great to see you, Dave.
And then there's another one. There's another message for you up there.
I got to see all these guys. Okay.
All right.
Jeffrey Walls. Oh yeah, Jeffrey, right on. Oh, awesome. From the old crew.
Doesn't it make you miss the gigs?
Totally. God, I haven't played forever. I mean, I'd play at home, do little things at home, but playing out with people and yeah.
Crazy. I wanted to ask you about your Broadway gig, but I remember the first time I didn't work a New Year's gig, and I called you and I said, "This is weird, not doing a New Year's gig." And
yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think you had one that night either, or maybe you did have one.
Could have been.
It was a while ago, though.
A while ago, yeah.
Yeah, maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, but it's just weird not working.
Craziness. Yeah.
Yeah. So what Broadway?
Yeah. Weird not working.
And so what was your Broadway gig that you did?
So it was Starlight Express, Andrew Lloyd Webber. Do you know anything about it?
No, I've heard about it though, but I don't know anything about it. What?
Okay, it's pretty silly. It's we used to call it Cats on Wheels because the entire cast is on roller skates and they're all pretending to be trains.
Are you serious? And what was their scene? What was it? What was the dialogue?
Oh, the theme was, it was just what you'd expect. There were like the good guy trains and the bad guy trains, and the cute girl train who the, the nice guy train wins at the end, and just about the most shallow plot you could think of.
How was the music?
Uh, well, I'll tell you this. What's the song from Cats? Memories,
Yeah.
right? The big romantic ballad from Starlight Express. As it's going along, you could sing the melody to Memories over it, and it fit perfectly. It's pretty much the same song.
Oh, so he's
Yeah,
yeah, he just,
it wasn't great. Yeah,
oh man. So you did that. Was that your
yeah.
only road gig before you came back to the Bay?
Actually, I took a semester off of school in the beginning of my junior year and toured with Pippin, starring Ben Vereen for 6 months or something like that. So
Ben Vereen was amazing. And
he was amazing. Yeah,
what
yeah.
what was that like?
That was pretty cool. I mean, I was young. I don't know how old I was, 19 or something, and yeah, just touring around all sorts of cities. Went to places I'd never been to in the United States. It was actually very cool.
So I must have met you not long after that because you're like half my age. So 19, I must have met you when you were like 21 or something.
Something like that. Yeah, I think I was trying to think about it. Like, when did we meet? I think we met pretty shortly after I came back to town. I remember our good friend Mark Anderson
Yes.
was teaching at Foothill College, and I think you were somehow using Foothill College, or we did a recording there. So I can't remember, but it was.
Well, so
I ended up teaching at Foothill College after that. So I met you before I got the gig at Foothill College. So it was
right.
really pretty quickly after I got to town.
Yeah. So I think
93, two or three.
I want to say like 91, maybe just right around when my daughter.
Maybe 91.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
Because Mark made the mistake of trying to have me play in the band a few times, and you were there, and I think Dave and maybe Worley and Lewis and some guys, and that was right when my daughter was born, and I would bring her out in the little bassinet thing and set her behind me,
Oh, I remember that.
right,
Yeah,
while the band was playing, and I think Mark was teaching.
absolutely.
And then a couple of years later in 93, it was when I recorded that big band record. And
Right.
and I think it was you and Dave Martell and Mark and Kevin Porter, maybe, or Chip Tingle, or I mean, I'm not sure exact
Sounds right.
configuration, but maybe you weren't even in it. Maybe I
Yeah.
didn't like you or something.
The big band, I remember that. I think we did, didn't we do Mark Anderson's arrangement of My Shining Hour or something like that?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was on that.
Yeah,
I was on that for sure.
and the funniest thing about that is I really didn't know what I was doing, but I did the record and I put it out, and Johnny Adams from KRML, the big jazz radio station in Carmel, he called me and had me come
Yeah.
to do an interview. Is that Monday? Is she waving at you?
Nice.
Yeah.
No, that was my son walking through.
Oh, okay.
Grayson, yeah.
So he asked me to come down and do this interview, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Interview on KRML, and I was just kind of a nut. And so he said, so your first song, you come out blazing. I think an opening song was My Shining Hour, and I think Dave Rickenberg did this solo on it, and it was great. So John Adams, he goes, you guys come out roaring on this My Shining Hour by Mark Anderson's arrangement, and your tenor player was playing like shades of Ornette Coleman or somebody, he said. And I sat there and listened, and I said, well, I wouldn't know because I'm a band leader and a drummer. And
Smooth. That way to sell yourself.
I mean, I know the interview just tanked after that because he's going like, okay, so this guy doesn't know anything. So I'm not going to be able to ask him.
Classic.
That's perfect for it. But anyway, so I started bringing you into gigs, and the one thing that I started having you do was the full motion thing. And a classic John Gove moment was when we were going to go to Phoenix on a gig, and everybody was meeting at my loft in San Mateo, and you come driving up your little chitty.
Right.
You know, that's what, you know, John Conley called it, is your little chitty bang bang, you know, your old yellow Mustang.
It was my 66 Mustang. It was classic, but it was yellow. Yeah, it was pretty chitty bang bang.
Right. So you pull up in that, and John goes, hey, here comes chitty, you know, and you get out, you put your horn down, you come inside, and we're messing with you. The garbage truck drives down the alley and runs over your horn.
Freaking ran over my horn. And we're about to leave to get on a plane.
And you know what? It was
unbelievable.
We were coming to LA, and we called, I believe, Eric Jordan.
Is that what it was?
I think so, because I think I called Eric.
No. You know.
Oh, what happened?
You know what it was? The funniest thing. It was John Connolly's place. It was your place, but before you had lived there, it was Connolly's place, right?
That's right.
Connolly played trombone in junior high or something, and he had his old Beater Bundy student trombone up in the loft, and he pulled it out, and I played Connolly's old trombone.
Oh,
yep,
man.
That's what it was. He had a trombone. It was classic.
That's so
funny. Yeah,
man. I mean, you know, some of those days are priceless. You know, they're just priceless. But when I started
I kept that horn for years.
Really?
All smashed and like it was. Oh yeah, it was great.
Where is it? Did you get rid of it finally?
I finally got rid of it. I finally tossed it. But yeah.
So I started abusing you and your writing and arranging chops when one night we were doing a gig and somebody said, we need the Star Spangled Banner. And like in 10 minutes, you penciled out a chart on the side of the stage to play the Star Spangled Banner. And I said, I'm having you do all my arrangements from now on, dude. What?
Yeah, I can exploit that.
I can take advantage of that, man. I'll give you $10 for that. Man.
Exactly.
I think
you did. You gave me $10.
I think I still probably owe you money too. Who knows? You know,
probably.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, when you're done, you can go out to that tree out back and pick a couple of bucks off.
Big couple. So when you took your schooling, did you have a plan of being arranging and composition? Did you want to do that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd been already writing big band arrangements in high school and, you know, writing original tunes back then. So I don't know. I went through school and I didn't have a really clear, you know, here's what I want to do. I want to get a job in this kind of a band and I want to do this. It was just, I had a bunch of stuff I like doing and I just wanted to do any of it and all of it. So,
and you have ended up sort of doing any and all of it in the Bay Area. And in all honesty, as expensive as the Bay Area is, to be able to be a musician at any level and sustain yourself financially is an undertaking and an accomplishment if you can do it. So, you know, hats off.
I have to agree. Yeah.
And Dave,
thank you.
And Dave Martell as well, because he wants me to ask you to tell me about dropping your slide in Paris.
Oh, yes. Great story. Oh my God, Dave, thank you for that. Oh my God, I love this story. Okay, so we're Dave and I and the Los Medanos Community College Big Band. We're on tour in Europe, and we're in Paris. And Dave and I are like, hey, let's go out and play on the street and put a case out, and let's make some money. So we go to this place. It was like this big, vast cobblestone square. Dave probably remembers what it's called, but it was this place, and there's musicians all over the place playing. People, playing little acoustic guitars, and somebody playing a violin, and so to be polite, because we're playing, it's two trombones. So we decided to go pretty far away from everybody so we wouldn't disturb, blast them all out. We were just playing jazz. One guy would play a bass line and the other guy would solo, and then we'd switch. He'd play bass line and I'd solo. And we started drawing a crowd, and money was flying in. And all of a sudden, every trombone player throughout their life drops their slide maybe 2-3 times. I think I've dropped my slide since I was in, elementary school, probably a total of 3 times. One of them was right then. It just flew off the end of my slide onto the cobblestones, put such a big dent in the slide that I couldn't even put it back on the horn.
no.
Just shut down our whole thing right there. It
Oh,
was terrible. And we're on tour. So it's like, how do you get it fixed? Oh, it was just insane.
were you
Yeah.
able to get it fixed?
Yeah, what I remember, maybe I've romanticized this, but what I remember is that we had made enough money in about the 10 minutes that we had played before I wrecked my slide that it paid for the repair of the slide. So I got it to a repair shop like the next day and got it repaired. Yeah. Great story. Thanks for reminding me, Dave. That was awesome.
That is a good. And what I like about the story is the fact that you guys were actually making money, and they were throwing money at you.
Oh, heck yeah. We were making tons of money. Yeah. It was quick. And yeah, if we had been able to go more than 10 minutes, we would have made some bank.
You might have been.
It was terrible.
Sure. Oh,
yeah.
man.
Oh my God. So funny.
So how often do you get commissioned to do charts these days?
Well, not super often, but every couple of years. Actually, the latest thing I did, I'll plug it right here. It came out really nice. The Pacific Mambo Orchestra,
Yeah.
Local Bay Area big band, salsa band that won a Grammy a few years back. They're making their second album. They completed it, and they commissioned me to write an arrangement of Night in Tunisia, Dizzy Gillespie tune. And then they hired the great John Faddis to play trumpet on it, play a smoke and solo on it, play the melody. And then they hired Daphnis Prieto on drums, killer drummer, to overdub some drum parts. So that's up on YouTube if you want to look for it. Night in Tunisia, Pacific Mambo Orchestra.
And that's on the latest one.
Yeah.
And and you know, of all of the people that I could ever really say, there's three people that I basically can say you're really killing me to. That would be you, Jamie Brewer.
Thank you. And you're killing me back.
Right. And
Jamie, he's killing me too.
And Stefan Kuhn.
Stefan.
You know,
Stefan's killing us all. Yeah.
Pretty much. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, just
close. Oh yeah.
Case closed. So did you?
I might throw Connolly in there too.
Well, yeah, John, but he almost doesn't count because he never talks to us anymore. You know, he's
see, yeah.
So, did you play on the recording or did you just do the chart?
I played on that tune, just on that tune. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like playing salsa? Yeah. Do you like doing that salsa world?
I how can I put this? I love salsa music. It's deep, rhythmically super cool. You ended with the salsa world. That I'm not so sure about. Man, I used to play 3 salsa gigs a week, and that used to be a a sizable part of my income playing salsa gigs. It gets repetitive. And now that I'm a little bit older than I was back then in the late 90s, a lot of salsa gigs start at 10 o'clock or 10:30, and then they go until 2.
Right.
And that's late for me these days.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you feel like you've become more of a family man since you've been teaching mostly?
Definitely. Yeah. And just, raising a kid, it'll make you a family man. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that whenever I would call, you had to set a time limit because Monday would only let you talk to me so long.
Yeah. It's true, because you and I would just shoot the shit for hours. We just go on talking about nothing. It doesn't even matter.
Just nothing. It's kind of like what we're doing now. We kind of just
nothing.
Just a continuation.
Exactly.
But I've never really asked you about your college and your degrees and everything, which generally,
yeah.
That's really the only thing that you really did away from the Bay Area, right? And everything else you've pretty much
that and the tour. Yeah.
I mean, you've made your living off of doing all of gigs like mine and Big Bang Beat and Buddy Love and some of the orchestra dates and some salsa gigs. Teaching has really become a big part of life. So where do you all teach now?
Yeah.
And what are all?
So I've taught. Yeah.
School.
So taught for years. I think since I want to say 2001, I've been teaching at Laney College, a community college in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
And then, gosh, I don't even know. Is it 8 years ago now? Something like that. The Berkeley Jazz School started a degree program, a bachelor degree program, and they changed the name of the school to the California Jazz Conservatory. So it's a private jazz conservatory. It's super cool school. I could teach, small classes and teaching at a really high level. I'm the chairman of the theory department there, designed all the theory curriculum. So,
really,
that's a pretty cool place to teach. Yeah.
I don't remember anything about theory, but I'm trying to teach my daughter the basics as she gets into high school for her choir. And I'm having to remember things like, what's a diminished? Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Is this augmented or is it? I'm like, oh my God, I can't remember anything. So you're teaching all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And are you teaching?
Yeah. I'd probably fail you.
I'd walk into the room like,
just as a matter of course.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what you
fail.
You don't know enough. Get out.
No, it doesn't matter.
So, are you teaching any other schools, but then those two right now?
Those two schools, and then some private teaching too. But those two schools are the main things I'm doing. Yeah.
And the Berkeley thing, since it's private, how is the funding going on those through all of this?
Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, apparently in the fall we've got a bunch of new students and everybody's returning, so it looks like it's gonna survive. We don't, last year the semester was already well underway by the time everything shut down and we had to go remote. So that didn't really affect funding last year. This fall is really when we're going to see if it's going to have any effects. But talking to the administration at the school, it seems like we have, a lot of new students and everybody else is returning. So I think it's just going to be fine, hopefully.
And are there still trombone students? Are there people that still want to play trombone? I mean,
wait, rephrase that. See if you can make it sound even worse. So, trombone being the dinosaur of the musical.
It's just, no.
Yes, there are.
It really is.
There are some up and coming trombones. Yeah.
Okay.
It is. I know. Yeah, you can, trombone. You joke about trombones all you want. We joke about ourselves even more than you do.
I,
So bring it on. Bring it on.
I'm just not really sure how it ended up where trombones got to be joked about so much. Do you have any idea what that history might be? I don't know. It
Oh gosh. Well, I know this, that a guitar in the wrong hands, or a piano in the wrong hands, or a drum in the wrong hands doesn't sound that brutal. A trombone
oh,
in the wrong hands is like a weapon. It can be painful.
like an
Yeah,
accordion.
it's like a violin too. A violin in the wrong hands, ouch. Yeah.
Well, you know,
So
uh, I, I had Wayne Wallace on, and he was talking about it, learning and the muscle memory. And this is one thing that I know about trombone and an upright bass and violin is I've never been able to figure out how you've got to just go to the exact spot to keep it in tune, and the slightest off you're off, and to be able to do this, I, I,
yeah,
I mean,
it's because us us trombonists, we're geniuses. I mean, let's just face it. No, it's pretty. I mean, there's 7 positions. There's only 7. Like,
oh,
if you can't like find those after playing for 40 years, you're in trouble.
well, I mean, there's
Yeah.
octaves and there's 7 positions. There's 8 notes. I mean, what? I'm confused.
Yeah. You're trying to do the math. Yeah.
I don't. But how do you get the in between and all the stuff is I don't. How do you make it go? How do you go up an octave? What? See, I don't know. I don't.
Yeah. All brass instruments are like that. It's all up here. Yeah. To change octaves. Like in one position, you can play a dozen notes, or a bunch of notes.
Are you serious?
Same with trumpet. One fingering, there's a whole bunch of notes. Oh yeah, yeah. It's not one position per note. Yeah. It's I can hit like what, like 8 or 9 notes all in one position.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. See, no, that's good knowledge. That's something that most people wouldn't know. Like, don't you have to play for every
Yeah.
little note, a little thing? But a lot of it is how you adjust your mouth or your lips or whatever it is.
It's all, yeah, it's there. Yeah.
And do you?
Has to do with the overtone series. Not to get technical, but it's the overtone series. Every note in one position is all the overtones of the lowest note.
Oh, okay. See, there's more knowledge that you've imparted on,
There's more knowledge.
and so you're right. You actually are smart and maybe a genius, like trombone players. No, I know I'm not. But
I'm smart for a trombonist, I think is the way to put
eh, you know, yeah, I got to be careful because I'm just such a knucklehead sometimes. But so you got the overtones, and uh, do you the amount of air you push, does that have anything to do with it too? I mean, is that just softer, louder?
That's more about that softer, louder stuff. Gosh, see, I have some brass players listening. Rich, Dave, what is it? Maybe it's the shape inside your mouth, the direction you're pointing the air. Maybe how you're tightening your embouchure to hit the higher notes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've read stuff where they've X-rayed people while they're playing, and they can't totally identify what's going on to make the different ranges, but
it's the humanness.
all brass does that.
It's the humanness of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the other thing that I want to ask, when you push the air, what of the sax and the reeds and the trumpets and the bones, do you have the same pressure on your head and neck when you, like a trumpet does, when you blow the note? Does it put the same kind of pressure?
I would. I'm just guessing now. I'm guessing the smaller the brass instrument, the higher the pressure.
Mm.
I'm not sure, but I know things like tuba. Now I think of that, and tuba takes so much air. Maybe it doesn't have a lot of back pressure,
Mm.
but it takes a lot more wind power to actually play the thing.
From the lungs. And would you have to play that from your diaphragm, sort of the same as singing, to get that air?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I think all wind instruments, it's all, and singing, it's all about having that support in the diaphragm. Yeah.
And do you teach, or have you ever tried that whole circular breathing thing, where some guys can hold a note for like ever? Can trombone, is that something you can do on a bone?
Yep.
Do you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I can kind of do it. I know Dave Martell can do it too.
Th-
Um, I don't know many trombone players who actually use it. I know Bill Watrous used to do it a bit. It's kind of a gimmick. So
Oh, okay.
I don't know many people who actually put it to use artistically.
What Dave says, that everything we're talking about is done with mirrors.
Now he's giving away the secrets. Dave, what are you doing, man?
So
It's all done with mirrors.
it's all done. It's smoke.
No, the question you should be asking, Jeff, you're missing the big question. Like trombone, when the slide goes in, it has to go down your throat, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. How does, yeah.
Got to think about that.
Where's it? Because
That's where it goes. It goes
like like the sword swallower thing. So what?
it's like sword swallowing. Exactly.
Now this might get you some gigs if you could learn how to get fire to shoot out of the bell of your horn as you're playing, like do that loud and fire shoots out. See,
now you're talking.
that
Now you're talking.
that's why I'm in show.
See?
It's show business. Show business.
That's why you're in show business. Exactly.
I got to tell you,
oh my God.
in my recent experience, though, the greatest, most best musical experience I'd ever had, and this is why I decided to quit playing after I actually played that last gig where the horns sounded really good and the rhythm section was pretty atrocious. And I decided to quit. But the last thing we did when I went to Florida, and we recorded tracks, and you wrote out all of the parts in those arrangements to all of those Broadway shows.
Right.
And you did all the strings and all of the horns and all of the parts. And then we had live strings, and then a second synth player to put pads on it. And then we had a real drummer, and we had real horns, and we sat and meticulously went over that stuff with clicks and everything and set it up.
Oh yeah.
With like 40 dancers. And when I did that gig, and the dancing and singing was kind of okay, but the band and the charts and everything magically went off, and I was able to stand in this ballroom. There really was about 5,000 people in there, and they had this massive PA system. And when the tracks were playing and the band was playing along with them live, it was magical for me. And it was really due because you and I spent hours sitting like, okay, we need to make sure this lines up with this and this, and the keyboard, the guy doing his tracks, he's got, we were back and forth
doing the tracks, right? Yeah.
And when it
was killer. You produced that whole thing. That was amazing, dude. That was awesome.
And the highlight of it was, for me, it was all going so well. And I was actually even conducting pretty well. I was kind of like, okay, man, it's good. I'm hanging. And the band was slamming and everything was going great. And it really was, I was having in heaven. It was like by far the best musical gig I'd done that I was able to pull at that level. And Howie Mandel was the MC. And he even gave me shit on one of the breaks. He goes, hey, band leader.
Nice.
Why did you play Isn't She Lovely when there was just men walking up on the stage?
Nice.
I just went like this. I went, yeah, leave me alone. But here's the funny thing, and you appreciate this because you did a bunch of these gigs with me, right? Where I would claim that I'm not a conductor, but but if I'm doing it right, don't follow me. Okay. So remember we
Yeah.
decided, I'm sorry to make this story, but you were integral in this story. So we couldn't get the chart to match the retards and all that stuff with the track. So we decided to just play Impossible Dream live without the tracks.
Oh, right. Without the tracks, right.
So I had to conduct the rubato and the pause, right? And I was trying to, it goes 3, and then there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's in 3. So I'm going, 2, 3. I'm going. Then I start. The rehearsal was great. I went 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm like slamming. I'm like, oh my god, I nailed it! Right. That's my big moment.
Yeah.
We're on the gig.
In the rehearsal.
The rehearsal was great, but then the gig's coming, and I looked at something on stage, the guy singing it, and I'm going 1, 2, 3, and then I realized, oh, this is supposed to be 4, so I just stopped and went 4 real loud. I just yelled 4 real loud, and then I come back,
nice,
and it nice. Cracked the band up that they almost. They almost like the like, you know, it was actually it was hysterical because I mean they should.
Oh, that's awesome.
If it would have been on YouTube, it would have been, you know, that was could have been my moment for success. I could have been a YouTube star.
Nice. Oh, that's classic. I wish I could have seen it.
You know,
I saw some moments in other places at those nurse conventions we used to do.
Oh, dude.
Oh, this was one of those, right?
No, it wasn't. No, this was.
Oh, this is something else. Right?
It was something else. But the nurses, you know, by the way, I got an email from Glenn Ramsborg, like 2 months.
What? Because he hasn't been a part of that for years, right?
He just emailed me out of the blue. I actually just remembered that. I haven't responded. He hasn't been part of it for like,
oh my god,
25 years or something.
A decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, forever. Yeah.
You did one of those first ones with
what a trip
in Boston. Remember when we did that like marathon, like 4-hour rehearsal, and they had, you know, all these.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. See, you know,
brutal.
We'll never get those moments again, man. We little did we know that we would.
I know. Yeah, a peak moment in my musical career.
You know, you've made it, man. When you're doing this gig in Boston and you're going da, 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 and you're playing these really sappy. Oh my god, the arrangements for those nurses, and the guy was making.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did. It was like the big thing we did was the pageant to the states, where and we were playing like Rocky Top, Tennessee, and I can't even remember a bunch of really dumb songs.
Dumb.
Yeah.
And here's what was really dumb about them is they were all photocopied marching band charts with like piccolo parts and flute, and they said just bring a sax player.
In the wrong keys. Yeah. And the funniest thing, I mean, I remember you telling me that, you know, I was like, where did all these, who picked all these songs? And it's like the people from the states themselves. Those are the songs they wanted to represent their state. They
did. So now to bring this full circle, and then we're at an hour, and in case Monday gets a hook and she yanks you off the camera, like, okay, you're done.
Yeah.
So to bring this full circle.
Yeah.
One of the last things I did in Seattle was I had a sax player on there that asked me about the nurse's gig, and he said, what happened to remember those books they had with the plastic sheets? He said, I'm the guy that put that original book together for Glenn. And I said,
what?
Oh, you did that? We replaced them all because they sucked.
Oh, they did. They totally did. And we did. We replaced them all. Oh.
Yeah. He just laughed because he goes, I know, but it was like all we had. It was all he had at his disposal to do it for the budget
Yeah.
he wanted. You know.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's
What
so
happened to those
funny.
cards? I said they went in the garbage.
Yeah, they're in the garbage.
Man.
Never gonna play those again.
Oh, all right. So
Oh, man.
what's your plan, man? You think you'll do any playing this year? You know Jonathan Peretz? You know Jonathan Peretz?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he's got a band. He needs like 5 trombone players. You know, I think like
he does a big band. He also has a small group. Yeah.
Well, he just should make more trombone players, because you know who needs work more than everybody are trombone players, because they've been left out of the picture forever. So like maybe 2 trumpets, maybe a tenor and an alto, and like 5 bones. You know, like have 2 bass bones or something.
5 bones. That's right.
You know, have
that makes sense.
Have a euphonium. You know, just do something weird. Do it different. What do you think?
Yeah.
Wait.
Good idea. Yeah. I love it.
I'm just
more trombones the better. Yeah.
More trying to get the creative juices flowing. And then he could sing and
exactly.
he could do the charts. He's a great singer, by the way. I tried to get him a gig. I tried to get him a
great singer, yeah.
Came through.
Sinatra style guy, yeah.
Yeah. So, John, you know, other than a wonderful trip down memory lane tonight, this has been fun for me to be able to spend an hour and do my little show. And believe it or not, people
super fun for me too. Good for you. Congratulations, man. You got this good thing going. This is really cool.
Well, it's as cool as it is right here. But, you know, I mean, when I went to Mackenzie, so I upload these to a YouTube page, right? And I go to Mackenzie, who's really, she knows, you know, she's going to be 15 next Tuesday, my youngest. And
whoa, oh my God,
she's going to be 15. So she's into YouTubers and stuff because it's a big deal now. So I go, I go, Mackenzie, I've got 88 subscribers. And she goes, ooh, you're going to be famous, Dad. And then this one YouTuber's got like 2 million subscribers. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. You know, 88.
I get it.
Yeah, no.
But 88, that's pretty good, dude. That's nothing. That's good.
It's not bad. It's like I'm the only guy that just sits and talks to musicians. Everybody else makes them play. You know, like, hey, play something.
Yeah.
I'm like, why play? Well, I'd just rather talk. Because this really is all I do. You know, when all of this happened, see, I can't really play. I got a piano sitting right here in front of me. Like, you know, you can't really see it, but I've got a piano. I could almost make it so you can hear it. But I've got this. So I've got a cajon, but I can't really. You know, I was thinking,
you got some stuff. Yeah.
What can I do? What's the quickest thing I can do? Well, I can talk. So here we go.
There you go.
Yeah. And I call people that, do you want me to play? No, let's just sit and talk. All right. So the next time I really get lonely for missing gigs, I will text you and Jamie, who decided to tune in right at first, just to let us know he's still alive, and Stefan,
nice,
Conley, and Max. I'll text everybody and just say, hey, y'all.
Oh, Max. Oh my God.
You know, I'll just say, hey, and Jeff, well, everybody, I'll just go, everybody's killing me. And then just leave it at that.
Yeah. Leave it at that. What more needs to be said?
Right. So, last thing, why don't you do your own record of your own music? Do your own charts.
That is always the question. Yeah.
Have you thought about it?
Well, you know, I have thought about it, and it's always like there's always something else. I could give you a million excuses. I have a million excuses, but there is no real good excuse. I'll tell you, I am in the process of recording a big band tune that I wrote, original tune. You know, got my MIDI tracks, sent them to Jeff Mars. He laid down drum tracks.
Okay.
I sent it to Mike Olmos, and I'm having different people add parts to it. So it's in the process of being recorded. I'm gonna assemble it once it's done.
There's LA guys.
So maybe I'll do a few more of those.
Are you only using Bay Area guys? Are you only using Bay Area guys?
Only Bay Area guys right now, but it's just for this first cut.
You like this?
I'm pulling in favors.
What? No LA guys? Well, that's cool. And
yeah,
is it original song, original arrangement? You're going to do more of them?
both. Yeah. That's the thought. I mean, if this comes out good, I'm gonna get maybe 2 or 3 more.
And then you can
see
put
if
it
it works.
on iTunes.
I guess I haven't even thought that far ahead. I'm just like, get the stuff recorded and then I'll take it from there.
And then this is what you do.
Yeah, maybe I'll
put it on iTunes.
Yeah.
Then we'll have a big release party and we'll do a big interview. I've got another app.
There we go.
I've got another app where I can have more people on, and we can get all your cohorts. We can have like a round table discussion about your new record. And then we'll.
Oh, there we go. Good idea. I love it.
Live stream. So you better get going quick before anybody has to go back to work.
I gotta get cracking. Yeah, my deadline is like, as long as we have this pandemic,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So this thing that I'm doing, it'll last about as long as the pandemic. The minute people stop having to sit home, nobody's going to sit and take the time to do this, including me. I don't got anything else to do. So,
well, you never know. By then, you might have 88,000 followers. Who knows?
88,000. That would almost be a viable source of income. But yeah, I mean, the thing is how YouTube works and podcasts is you have to have enough subscribers and enough people watching in order to justify somebody advertising and sponsoring you. Otherwise, it's not worth their money. But if you get enough people watching, then you can get subscribers. And I'm not really going for lots of subscribers. I'm going for the people that interest me. The people that I want to talk to.
The niche,
like
exactly.
Like you and and the drummers that I've wanted to talk to, Lenny White, that played his first recording album was Bitches Brew. I'm like, dude, that was your
what?
Yeah, Lenny White. Yeah.
That was his first recorded album?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He said he did a little kind of thing before, but his real recording project, he was 19, was Miles Davis. And he said he called everybody together and they did like a 30-minute rehearsal that just played the head. They just kind of get the head down. And after 30 minutes, Miles goes, okay, show up at the studio tomorrow morning at 9. And they just started playing. That was his first record.
Wow.
And I'm going,
wow.
I know. I'm sitting there and like, I'm a drummer. I'm thinking, I'm talking to Lenny White, the guy, and that was his first record he played. So for me, this has been that kind of I mean, how cool is it that I can talk to people like that now? So
yeah,
and
unbelievable.
And that was a great story in and of itself. How that, and then I had Jerry Brown on that played with Stanley Clarke, went to school with Stanley Clarke, and he's telling me, I did this gig and I did this with Stanley, and then I did this, and then I went to Europe, and then I come back and I got this phone call, and it was this guy said, hey, I got a gig for you. Come to LA. I get you a one-way ticket. He comes to LA. He's on the road with Lionel Richie when Lionel Richie was like at his heyday, doing All Night Long and all stuff. And then and I'm going, I'm just hearing these kinds of stories.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a real treat to just sit and talk with those guys and, so it's fun. So you get a lot of
super cool. Yeah.
I got a lot of drummers on my show, and I'm up to about 100.
Yeah.
I'm up to about 145 shows now.
Wow. That's fantastic.
And again,
that's excellent.
I'm calling this week Beats and Bones. As a matter of fact,
Beats and bones.
you know what? This is a great idea. Okay, this is what you need: a bunch of drummers playing a bunch of percussion and a bunch of bone players, and make it and call it Beats and Bones.
There we go.
And like
Beats and bones.
you can have like
All right, I'll do it.
You'll do it if what?
You got to play drums on
Oh
it.
no,
You got to bust the drums out.
no. No. I'm not a drummer anymore. No, I'll get guys. I'll get guys. You know, and you can have marimba, and you can have some, percussion, and you can have all kinds of, but it's all got to be percussion, and you've got to be all the low brass, tenor trombones, euphoniums, tubas, and
bass trombone,
and
tubas.
Is there such a thing as a piccolo trombone? Or an alto trombone?
No, there's an alto trombone. There's an alto trombone.
So, John Worley goes, it sounds crusty and deep.
Whirly's on.
Yeah.
Whirly, what's up?
Yeah.
Super cool.
So that would be kind of cool, right? Beats and Bones, and just title, and then you just think about all the interesting things you could do. And this would be your arranging thing, is to arrange for all these different low end brass and percussion instruments, and how to get,
Beats and Bones.
I'm kind of digging it. I put this to a challenge.
I love it.
And
you've already you've branded it already. Perfect.
Dudes, see, I'm just talking just because John Worley's like talking now. Does your family are you getting the hook in a minute? You know what we got to do?
Oh no, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. This would be really fun I really would like to get together with all of you guys sometime, if we could, with you and Dave and John and Martel. Tom Politzer, and just all of
guys,
Jeff,
all the guys,
Lewis,
Stephen, Max, Todd, Dickow, everybody. Yeah,
just
Jeff
get together and have like a summer like picnic or something. Just get out, just sit around,
absolutely,
shoot the shit. That's what you're supposed to do when you get old, is talk about the good old days.
That's it.
Oh man. So John came on my show, and with Tom, and Tom and I sat and talked to John, and John had Susan on, and we interviewed both of them. So what we need to do is get Monday to come on.
Oh, cool.
And sit and talk to Monday. What is
get Monday to come on?
Yeah, get the wife's perspective. Is she going no, or is she going yeah?
She just walked through the room. She's just like,
oh
yeah,
man. Yeah. See, Louis Fasman too, but Louis Fasman just moved down here by me just this last week.
Oh, that's right.
I'm like, see,
right. Was he's down by you? I thought he was moving to San Diego,
San Luis Obispo, no, Oceanside area.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what John said, which is close to where Nelson lives.
Cool.
Nelson lives by there. So, and now I can start.
Oh, cool.
I'll start a band down here. I'll have Nelson and Lewis, and then I'll need to get the rest of you.
All the guys.
I get the rest of you guys down here, and then
get John Mater.
John, John can play drums. He's not doing anything right. He's building fences.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen, I know I've kept you for a long time, and it probably, all of this is maybe of no interest to anybody other than those who know us. Yep. John.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'll let you go and say thanks for joining me. And when we hang up, and I'll upload this to my YouTube channel, you'll see that there's at least 50 or 60 people that have looked and joined and watched, and usually about a week later it doubles. And
nice.
People watch back, and they'll watch the first 15 minutes and go, yeah, okay. First 15 minutes are cool.
Very cool. No, this is a super cool thing.
Yeah. All right, John. John Worley's going. He's snoozing.
He snoozes her.
Okay. All right.
Perfect.
I'm gonna,
Say hi to Susan for me, John.
yeah. All right. I'm going to play one thing, and this is kind of fun because I like this tune, and it just puts me in the right kind of mood for a horn player, especially. Is this song, and this is what I'll close on. It's by Wayne Bergeron. So this is why you need to get your own record, so I can play as bumper music. And
there we go.
And so think of writing a song. It doesn't have to have only bones and drums, but you can title the song "Beats and Bones," and come up with
Beats and Bones.
And then
why Beats and Bones? Why not Bones and Beats?
Well, because drums always come first. But 76 trombones did lead the big parade. And
that's correct. And that is correct.
The cornets and drums
the drums were in the back where they should be.
The drums are in the back. Oh man. Okay, so this is my plan. This is how we can do this social distancing. On this other platform, I can have up to 10 people. And we can get together, and I can put everybody on, and we can do just what you and I are doing now with John and Lewis and Tom and everybody. And we can just get on and just have a little like a hang and let people eavesdrop.
Just insult each other. Yeah. Perfect. I'm down.
Hey, this has been pretty good. We haven't roasted each other much.
Totally great.
It's been all right. So
no, I know.
Fighting words. John goes, them's fighting words. Okay, so I'll close this out. I'll let you go, and thank you for hanging out with me for, gosh, we've been at an hour and 20 minutes, which is it's good.
Hour and 20 minutes. There we go.
And this is Wayne Bergeron. Just got that easy.
Nice.
So it's a good winding down so we can all go to bed now.
Perfect.
All right. All right. So thanks for joining me on my In the Green Room show and spending the time. And who knows? Maybe this will be the most watched show of the year.
There you go. A pleasure, Jeff. Always.
All right. I'll catch you later, John. Oh.
See you, man.